What's up, y'all, and welcome to Watchworthy. It's your co-host, Brother Ash.
And I'm Miss Chris D.
On this week, we are going to be honoring April, the month of the Earth. We're going to be discussing Buy Now, the shopping conspiracy. This documentary is all about how we are over-consuming as humans. We're crowding the planet with waste. Big companies who are just continuing to produce, and how this is hurting the country. So, happy Earth Day, but let's get into this. So, the documentary features Marin Costa, former Amazon UX designer, Mara Einstein, former marketing executive, Paul Polman, former CEO of Unilever from 2009 to 2019, and Nirav Patel, former Apple employee. So while you watch, consider things that you might be able to cut back.
We're not gonna tell y'all how to live, but after watching this documentary, it makes me not want to buy anything.
I'm not gonna lie, it's very depressing because we'll get into it, but it's hard to have the things that we have in this kind of easy world, get things, next day, and go out and go shopping, and you work so hard to be able to afford stuff, but we often don't think about what it does to the planet. Even
At
clothes.
all.
I didn't realize how shopping and having too much clothes is harmful for the planet. So let's get into it.
You're right. We don't think about it at all. I'm glad that you named all of the former executives who were featured in this documentary, because I feel like we're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. This is the woman who designed the Amazon website. She basically told us, we were not thinking about the effect it would have on the planet. We were just thinking, how can we get people to buy more? Hence the title, Buy Now.
Money.
Exactly. It's all about money. So she said that Amazon was pretty much founded with the idea of one-click buying. They basically showed this animation in the documentary that was like a conveyor belt going straight from the factory to your house. That's what they wanted, and that's basically what we have with Prime and same-day shipping and all that stuff. And so she said that they really didn't get... It's sad because they really didn't give any thought to what was going to happen after people bought this stuff. And that's still today. They just want you to buy it. They don't care what you do after the fact.
Yeah.
And so they were just talking about how, like you said, buying new stuff feels great. I can even admit, as a consumer, I love, buying something new. You just get that new feeling just got my package in the mail. You just get excited. But we're really buying more and thus producing more waste. They talked about in this documentary how it doesn't really go anywhere. You ever notice your house is just filled up with stuff? There's nowhere for the stuff to go.
When we moved from our old place to where we are now, I'm thinking, because I've helped move out, aunts, cousins, friends in college, and it's you grab a few people and you get it done. It was so much shit, and we don't have kids. We were only living together for 2 years. So I can't imagine how much a family of five might have in their house. And wouldn't consider us people hoarders.
We're not very wasteful people. So imagine, like you said, that's one household. Think about every household, not just in America. This is a global issue.
It's a lot of shit,
So they were just talking about how we're literally going to end up like WALL-E. Y'all remember the Disney movie WALL-E? We ruined the planet that we were on, so we had to go to Mars because we had so much trash. That's really how it's going to be. And I know that we're going to talk a lot about the companies, but don't get it twisted. Consumers, we play our part too. We don't need to keep buying. You don't need that thing from Amazon. Stop it. Stop shopping on Amazon. And so they were just talking about how, us consumers, we're kind of getting played. They're kind of playing right in our face. The UX designer, Marin from Amazon, she really said, there's an intentional, complex science behind online shopping. And I want to add in-person shopping as well, because there's a reason. They use red and yellow for McDonald's because the colors red and yellow make you hungry. This is the science behind, the psychology behind everything from the color to the copy that you really don't think about. So red flag, because they really playing with us. They playing with our minds. And so there was a guy, Eric, I forget how to pronounce his last name, whatever, his name is Eric, former president of Adidas. This is the former president of Adidas who is sitting for this documentary interview telling us I admit I got some sins to pay for. Because Adidas, of all people, they be pushing out new shoes every month.
Yeah.
And so he was just talking about how it's business needs versus ethics. We got a company to run. We got to make money. What if Adidas said we only going to make one shoe this year? That's not going to work. It's just not. For them, it might not work. For us, it might help, but the waste problem. But for Amazon, it's not going to help them make any more money.
That's what's interesting, because Adidas is probably already $1 billion enterprise. So, like, when is enough money?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
so he was talking about how, as an employee, like, once you start to wise up, you're like, oh shit, I'm making a lot of money, but it's hurting people. And that's when the ethics comes in. Like, what's important to you? Spoiler alert, the lady who used to work for Amazon, she's now trying to work in the government and trying to change the government. So
good luck.
Yeah, she basically figured, like, I can't do what I want to do at Amazon, so I'm gonna try to do it in the government. But you see, our own government doesn't even have any climate change plans, so whatever. And so this documentary kind of breaks it down into 5 steps. Like, it's a little creepy, honestly. If you watch this documentary, they have an AI voice, like, introducing each category. So it's like, step 1, sell more. Step 2, waste more. Step 3 is lie more. We're going to talk about how the companies lie to us.
Red flag.
Yeah. Lying is involved.
That shit is just embedded.
There's no way to sugarcoat it.
You don't, it's almost like in America, you can't become that amount of successful without lying and, you know, manipulating people.
That's only step 3. Step 4 is to hide more, because they're literally hiding the waste from us. And step 5 is control more. So we're going to talk about these different categories in the documentary. Step 1, sell more. Like we just said, no one needs another sweatshirt. You ever see something like, oh, that's so tough, I want that. But think about it. You don't even got no room in your closet. You already got 15 sweatshirts. You don't need another one. But they just make you want it so badly. Yeah. Brands give us, the Adidas guy was talking about how they give us a compelling reason to keep buying. They always create these stories. The example he gave was literally Ivy Park. I love Beyonce, but I don't really need some more sweatpants. I really don't. But because it's Beyonce, because it's the Ivy Park story, it's the exclusive collaboration. Oh, you got to get it while it's hot for a limited time only. That's what's making people buy more. Stop buying into that. Red flag. Stop buying into that. I know certain people who are like, oh, I don't even like this, but I'm going to buy it because it's Cardi B. Like, come on. You don't have to do that.
I will say I've never been like that. I only buy shit that I like. Like, I've never seen something and just wanted it because of a brand. Like, if I see some Nikes and I think they ugly, I will never buy them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, I'm the same way. So they said that, you know, brands kind of know what drives this consumption because of that consumer research. Again, they are, put a red flag, because, again, it's our fault because we say, sure, you can have my data. Just a click to get the pop-up off the screen, right? But you're doing that without even knowing what you're signing away. They are doing consumer research on us. Like, oh, people like this drop, but not that drop. Let's do more of this. And that's just helping them. It's a cycle. They're just creating more and more stuff. So, you know, let's talk about clothing manufacturers. This guy, Roger Lee, he said, first of all, almost every shirt in America comes through us. And they were in some foreign country. It wasn't China, but they was in some other country. He was like, first of all, everything made in America comes through us. And he talked about how, literally, you remember when I said, like, what if Adidas made one shoe a year? Literally, fashion brands used to have 2 seasons a year, he said. They would come out with stuff in the spring, and they would come out with stuff in the fall. That's why if you follow fashion, they still do have fall runway, spring runway. But the difference is some of these fast fashion brands in between, they're not just making stuff every 6 months anymore. They're making new items every month. Every month. What's the difference from the last H&M shirt that they just put out versus the one this month? And so he was saying, if you really want to, you know, put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, and see how many products these companies are making, he said Gap produces 12,000 new items a year.
Damn! My fault.
It gets worse. That's just Gap. Zara, y'all little Zara that y'all love so much, produces 36,000 items a year. Again, how many different types of t-shirts can you make? I don't understand. And then the worst of the worst, Shein. Ooh, y'all with these little Shein and Fashion Nova hauls on TikTok. Ooh, I just spent $500 at Shein and look at all the stuff I got. You didn't need all that shit because they produce 1.3 million. Put the bomb. Put the.
I don't have the bomb, but
you know, red flag. Put the, you know, the bomb like the.
Yeah, put it for me ahead of time.
1.3 million items a year. So in total, Roger Lee, the manufacturer, told us that this industry produces 100 billion garments a year.
Damn.
And I've been shopping with H&M for 10 years or more. So you do the math. they said that people have become disillusioned to the impact that they're really having. Because you're just like, oh, I'm buying a t-shirt. I be thinking I'm doing good when I'm like, oh, I didn't. Remember, babe, I went to a bridal shower recently. I was like, I'm going to recycle a dress from the back of my closet, and I feel proud of myself for not buying a new dress. That's one item.
I'm not going to lie. I never understood how women always have to go shopping for events. Because my thing is, if you went shopping for the last 5 events you went to, it has to be a way to where you could manipulate that outfit to make it a new outfit.
Babe, I'm gonna say this. I hate to say it, but Instagram already saw it. Instagram already saw the dress.
And we just had an episode about social media.
Now I gotta wear something different. I gotta buy something new.
Fuck the gram.
It's always new.
I got a denim jacket. I wear that shit so many times. And people done seen it in multiple pictures.
That's his classic denim jacket.
I look good in that motherfucker. I don't need to... I wear as many times as I want to.
So people are becoming disillusioned. They're like, well, at least I'm not shopping at Walmart every day. Yeah, but you're still making a lot of waste without realizing it. So going back to Marin Costa, she's the former Amazon UX designer. She said that it really used to be a challenge to get people to shop online. I know it's a entirely, strange concept to think about, like not shopping online. But back then people used to have to go to the store, like get in their car, go to the store, shop around. So it's just, now this has become our norm, and now we can't go backwards. That's the problem. Imagine if Amazon was like, oh, we're not doing Prime anymore. People would have a fit, So it's just crazy to think about how much has evolved in only 20 years. And so she said that, think about it. If you're her, you're on a very innovative team. It used to be my dream to work at Google and be the one to design new concepts. And for her, she was like, we were not thinking about waste. In the 2000s, we were just like, oh, look, we can get people to shop online. All this other stuff came after the fact. So that's kind of hard. Red flag, because, like I said, it's hard to be an employee at one of these companies. You think that you're, innovative and creating something new, but you're actually adding to the problem. So it is a little tough to work out internally if you want to be sustainable, don't work at Amazon, period. You already know that. You should already know. So she said that it's too easy to get something shipped to the factory, blah, blah, blah. We already talked about that, but that is the point. Going back to the whole consumer research part of it, she said that they literally want to stop us from critical thinking. Red flag. You're not about to take away my critical thinking.
It's not the first time I heard that.
Yeah. They literally don't want us to think about it. They want you to buy now, think about it later. And I feel like there's a lot of people out here, like with that retail therapy. When did retail therapy become a thing? Like, oh, I'm stressed out. I need to buy something.
It's been a thing.
We need to stop that.
That's Beverly Hills pastime right there. Like,
let's just go shopping and feel better.
Me personally, I never really had it like that to just go shopping when the world is against me. I got to figure another way to heal my sorrows.
Yeah, no. But Marin was just talking about how, like, she was the person to, like, let's change this button from yellow to green because it gets people to shop more. Or, like, they're adding stuff like free shipping. When you see free shipping, you're like, ooh, maybe I will spend a little bit more.
Yeah.
So there's masterminds behind the switchboard, working on all of that. And so they said that there's so much traffic to these sites. Now they don't even have to go out and do focus groups. We're giving them the information. And like I said, we can't stop it. How are we going to stop all the people who shop on Amazon across the world? It's kind of hard to, like, reel it back in. It's kind of hard to go backwards. And so she was just talking about how step 2 is waste more. So again, all you got to do is sell more and waste more to get profits to start maximizing. They said this goes back to the 20s, y'all. I didn't know this story. They said back in January 1925, it started with the light bulb. And manufacturers said, let's cut the light bulb lifespan from 2,500 hours of light to 1,000 hours of light. Red flag. Because back in the 20s, they were already thinking like, oh, these light bulbs are lasting too long and we want people to buy more.
Yeah.
So let's make it wasteful by having them die sooner.
That's why your phone starts acting crazy. When
they talk all about Apple up in this. And so they said that it's kind of like that replacement theory. Like, obviously that creates unnecessary waste, but the plan is called planned obsolescence. They literally have a name for this. It's planned that they want you to have to throw it away in 2 years. That pisses me off so badly. Because remember when people was like, is it just me or is my phone glitching? No, it's not just you. Remember Apple admitted that?
Yeah.
Apple literally admitted that to us. So they said nowadays, this was the 20s. This was a new concept. Nowadays, it's just commonplace for products to be designed to break or rapidly be discarded. I really hate that. I have a laptop, knock on wood. I've had it since 2018. It's still kicking. I don't want to plug anybody, but it is a Microsoft. So I stick to the PCs. But still, I just can't believe that that's not common. If your computer goes kaput in 2 years, you're like, oh, it had a good run. And people are just, I just need a new one. Yeah. Remember that thing with the TVs? You said that we had a neighbor who threw out a TV.
Yeah.
Same day he got it because he was like, it ain't working.
Walmart was selling them TVs the 60 inches for only $300.
That should raise a red flag for you. So they were talking about how when we say I'm just going to throw it away, where is away? We all just have this concept in our heads I'm throwing it away.
How about we just take Bikini Bottom and push it over there?
That's what we're doing with our trash, y'all. I hate to break it to you, but when you put something in the dumpster, it's just going to a landfill. It doesn't magically get recycled or something. And so they talked about how an example is how Apple has to have a new phone every year. Red flag. I'm still on the iPhone 14 Pro, y'all. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not getting the iPhone 17 when it comes out. iPhone 18. Do not let people judge you or make you feel bad because you still have an iPhone XR. Just don't. It's not that deep. At the end of the day, all we need to do is make calls and text messages. So I don't know why we need to get a new phone every year. But Apple has made it to feel I gotta get the latest and greatest.
Like you said, Instagram saw it already. Yeah. As always, where other people are thinking and what we put on each other in society. Because when you have the newest iPhone, you make other people around you want what you have.
Yep.
And
so Nirav Patel, he's a former Apple and Oculus employee, so he's been in big tech for a little minute. He said that he actually got to work on really exciting projects like developing FaceTime. Imagine if you invented FaceTime. That's really cool. But then he was like, okay, after that, how much has Apple really innovated? Think about it. Every year I'm like, what's the difference between the 14 and the 16?
I think the biggest updates were
camera?
iMessage, being able to text without, as long as you have Wi-Fi. FaceTime, AirDrop was a good one. But what's interesting? A lot of the features that Apple has, Android phones been had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember being able to touch phones with somebody and share images and documents with my Android when I was in high school. And that was over 10 years ago. So AirDrop is it's not new. It's people been AirDropping for at least half a decade now. But it's interesting how Apple being the more popular brand, I would say, make so much money off of these features, but they just kind of borrow other people's ideas.
And to your point, Samsung had a good thing going, but now they're trying to compete with Apple. So now they're already on the Galaxy 17 or whatever because they feel Apple coming out with a new phone, we got to come out with a new phone. So it's just all these companies overproducing all these products.
Capitalism.
Yeah, it really comes down to capitalism.
Yeah.
So they talked about specifically smartphones. They're the type of product that everybody already has. So let's say, hypothetically, everybody on the globe already has an iPhone. Now they're talking about if your business model depends on people replacing their phone every year, you can't just say okay, Apple shareholders, we're done with the iPhone 15. We don't want to make any more. Because they're going to be no, last year you made us $25 billion. This year we need you to make us $50 billion. So the shareholders are really... They're the ones pushing for you to keep creating as well.
Yeah.
So brands are really kind of stuck. That's why again, the guy Nirav said, nobody in these boardrooms are talking about waste at all.
Nope.
We're just talking about the launch. You know how they always have a big launch every September? Apple has everybody sitting around waiting for the new Apple products. He's like, yeah, nobody talks about and this is going to cause XYZ amount of emissions. Nobody cares.
I think it needs to, because if it's an expense, so if they could find a way out of it, they are. You know what I mean? It costs money to dispose of things properly.
Yes. So unfortunately, they said there are approximately 13 million phones thrown away every day. By day. Red flag.
Red flag. We need a damn tag.
Yeah.
Damn.
This really just makes me want to hold on to this phone even longer. Because I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Well, no, let me hold it because we get to this. The whole recycling thing, we're gonna get to it. So they said, like, how did such an advanced, expensive piece of... Remember how hard it was just to get an iPhone? Mm-hmm. I didn't get an iPhone until, like, sophomore year of college. So they were saying, how does such a piece of advanced, expensive technology become a throwaway? Now this is just nothing.
Yeah.
I got 3 iPhones sitting around the house, just floating around. And it's just become nothing. Yeah. It really is sad. So they talked about how people like... I love this guy. He might be my Watchy Award. Kyle Wiens. He's a founder and CEO of a company called iFixit. Yeah, people like that who actually know technology and know how to replace your screen and know how to repair your gadget, they don't want you to. The companies are shutting people like him down. He said he actually just got a cease and desist 10 days ago while filming the documentary.
Wow.
Because they literally... Red flag. This pisses me off. Because we can fix our stuff, but now they're making it so we can't. Mm-hmm. Remember when you could pop the battery out and put it in some rice? Can't do that anymore. They literally have changed the screws on our phones and our computers so we can't take it off at home. So people like Kyle, they're like, hey, if it can be fixed, if it can be repaired, why go buy a new one? And the companies are like, no. We want you to buy more. We don't want you to fix it. So they said that they don't even, give you a manual anymore. Sometimes you buy an expensive thing and it only comes with 3 directions. That's on purpose. They don't want you to fix it. So they're literally just slowly taking these things away from us. They don't want us to have any knowledge.
Despicable.
Anybody taking away my autonomy, anybody taking away information, that's a red flag. Yeah. And so... They said, they talked about the headphone jack. R.I.P. to the headphone jack.
Yeah.
I was pissed. Now I gotta get your special headphones to use on your special smartphone. In fact, they talked about how that was really just to get people to buy more AirPods. Mm-hmm. And you ever notice how your AirPods short out after a year, 2 years?
That's why I stopped buying AirPods.
You might as well get some cheap Five Below headphones if you don't keep having to buy it.
I got regular headphones that I got an adapter that goes into my C port, and it is annoying because when I'm working out, the headphone will hop out the jack, and I'll be like, dang, in these moments, an AirPod would be nice, but I done went through like 3 pairs of AirPods, and they like $100 each.
I'm on my least $100. Pair, and one of them is shorting out, so I only listen to music on the left for real.
Like if I'm going, this is